Hello, everybody. It's Justin. And the Lord didn't really have anything he wanted to say, so I'm going to take that as an opportunity to kind of shift gears here a little bit. Some sad news that my granny, I call her granny, my granny passed away. I guess that was now. It was Mother's Day actually, so it's Mother's Day when she passed. So I guess that was Sunday? Yeah. And my grandmother she was amazing and everything. We didn't have a necessarily I'm gonna hang out with grandma, on the weekends, it wasn't that kind of relationship, but we got along great. I love Granny. She had always been there, and it was just a vexing thing that she's not here anymore. That's such a weird thing to me right now. So, you have to kind of understand, too, that she had all of her children and grandchildren, and actually really great-grandchildren, at a later date. So there wasn't any of this stuff of, having a child very, very early and then having maybe a 40 or 50-year-old grandmother. It wasn't anything like that. It was like, nah, she's an old lady and she's still a great grandmother, which I think was interesting. And she was 96. She passed, which was almost 30 years after her husband, which is my grandfather, passed. And it's just a weird thing. And it's like, when that foundation's already gone, it's just a weird thing I'm kind of getting reacclimated to. So I'm not upset in the traditional sense, She was a believer, I prayed about it and everything, and I wanted to know if there was anything I needed to witness to her about, but that wasn't the case. So, praise God for that. And I learned a lot just from watching those final moments, because I actually get to see her pass. Very, very peaceful. She just kind of, the vital signs just kind of left. You know what I'm saying? So the thing just stopped beeping, the vitals just kind of crashed, and that was pretty much it. But I learned some interesting things. I learned that what femininity really looks like, and the power in it. It's not about any of this aggressive stuff, because anybody can be aggressive and angry. Children can be aggressive and angry, so it's not anything like that. But I learned the value of it in the sense that everybody in that room, aside from the wives, were there because of her. Like, literally, the people in that room, majority of them, existed because of her. That's power. That's a big deal. And the position that she was raised in terms of the old school way of thinking about things or whatever, did not find that to be a small thing. This is why back in the day, talking about protecting the women and children, because women do that. Women cause causality with existence. They birth. So I was looking at, because my aunt is her firstborn, and she's almost 70 years old now. And, dang. Like, auntie exists here because, and then that means my cousin exists here also, and then that means that his little boy, or his children, his daughters, and his son, they exist here because of her. So it's just like, wow, that's incredible, So that's really something. That was really something to see that, just in that room like that. This kind of dawned on me. I'm also convinced of this too. I look at death now differently. I don't look at it as a natural thing. Now, I know that death is natural as we interpret it to be natural because we experience it. But as far as original intent behind life and creation and things like that, I'm just not convinced that anymore that was what it was supposed to be like. So, yes, I am a Christian, obviously, so when it talks about sin and death entering this thing at a later time, when you see it happen, even if it is for a 96-year-old woman, you're kind of like, okay, there's something deeply wrong and disturbing about this. There's something wrong about it. Even though she went peacefully, even though all those things were true, there was still something that was just off about the whole situation in contrast to that of life. Like, what do you mean she's not moving anymore? What do you mean she's just gonna lay there? What does that mean? Why is that even happening? You know? So that could be my grief talking. I don't know, but I don't know. That's just an interesting experience that I had. The really unique thing was seeing my mom reconcile some things with my grandmother. There's some things that they had some disagreements about and things like that, and they squashed all that. So I was happy to see my mother crying when she passed. You know, that sounds like a weird thing to say, but I was happy to see the fact that she was moved emotionally, because some people can sit there and watch someone die and be still so mad at them that you know, they let that moment just pass by and they have these regrets, and it's just awful. It's amazing what we will just kind of let happen. So I just encourage you guys to reconcile any of that stuff, you know, before it gets to that point. I mean, be mad for what? What is it doing? What has anger ever won you and sustained you in your life? It doesn't sustain anything. It'll be a motivator for a season, but eventually, you know what I'm saying, that anger, all that resentment will turn on you, and it will invite death into your life. I promise you. I promise you. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share those thoughts. Annette Delaney, that was her name. Sweet lady. Had a good long fight. She had like surgery when she was like 86 years old and pulled out of that. And so we were all kind of like, we all looked at her like Tupac, right? We were like, oh, you know, Grace's in the hospital again, whatever. At 96, right? So because she actually went home. She was in the hospital maybe for a week or two previous to this. And so she didn't look like she was going to make it back then. But she still made it. So we were kind of like, okay, Tupac, whatever. But, you know, all of a sudden, it just went south. Just quick. Just quick. So anyway, guys, I just encourage you guys to appreciate life. I mean, we say that, but, you know, really appreciate the fact that the person you're next to does not have to be breathing. And the value of the time that you have every moment. All right, guys. Loves and hugs.